So, what I want to talk about tonight. All right. I'm going to start from the beginning. So, first of all, I started off literally 7 days ago. I decided I was going to go on a 7-day spiritual fast where I was going to monitor and filter all of the so-called 5 senses, but really there's like 6 or 7. So we're talking about touch, taste, smell, hearing, touch, taste, smell, hearing, and seeing. And I'll go into the 6th and 7th one. Wait, 5, 6. Yeah, 6th and 7th. When I remember them, because I'm remembering some right now, but it's not right. So as soon as I remember them, I'll explain the 6th and 7th one. So basically, everything that I bring into my sphere, and everything that I expel, was going to be of it was going to be of high vibration. And so I did a really good job with the hearing part. Like every day for the most part, I was listening to meditation music while I was sleeping, all during the day, while I was working, like consistently. And there were a couple of it wasn't perfect. There were times when there were like spaces. There weren't that many times, but there were a couple times. And when I did fill those spaces, because mind you, I'm going through something emotionally right now. So when I did have those gaps, my emotions would rise back up. And so it's crazy because when that happens, because when you're in a vibratory state, it's hard for you to see outside of that state, whether it's high or low. And so I experienced that, but I was able to get right back on it. Because like the first time it happened, it was really bad. And I was like, okay, I got to be ahead of this. So that's when I started doing it, even while I'm sleeping, when I wake up and all that stuff. And so when I was waking up, I turned my app on for breath work and meditation. And it's breath work, meditation, and sounds. And so that would get my day going. And then for the rest of the day, of course, it would be my music, and there was no thought put to it. I just press play and just do my thing. So I did that all week. I also monitored the way I spoke. There were a few times, not as many as normal, but there are a few times where I still cursed. And then my diet wasn't good either. So I didn't really do a good job with what I brought into my mouth. But what I expelled from it, I did a decent job. So this was the goal, and I'm admitting that I wasn't perfect, but what I did do, what I was capable of doing, was profound, and it changed my vibration tremendously, because as the magnetic aspect of my attraction was growing, I was like tapping into different things more and more. So I was tapping it, like there was a business thing that I was able to take advantage of, that I've been wanting to do for a very long time. And then I found like this spiritual cleansing seminar, and you guys have probably seen it. It was the Oliver one. So I saw that maybe like day 3, maybe day 4. And I decided to do it. As a matter of fact, I probably saw it before then, because I was kind of researching him before I did it. And then I was looking for him again, because it's an ad. So I was looking for him again, and he popped up, and I went ahead and decided to do it. At this point, I made my mind up. So I did that. And so actually that happened today. So all week, it's been nothing but like peace vibes, little struggles here and there, but for the most part, I've been, very good at raising my vibration. So we do the spiritual cleansing today, and the only thing I can say is that it was absolutely amazing. Like, oh my God, like, I learned a lot. The most important thing about that cleansing, even though I had a breakthrough during the actual cleansing, the most important thing about that cleansing was I learned a lot, because in my everyday, I can apply what I understood to whenever I'm experiencing whatever is happening in my life. That right there was just phenomenal. So I did that. And ever since I did that, I've been completely like high. Like I've been spiritually high, like all evening. Like, I don't know how to explain it, like all evening. And so I just felt like making a video. So I almost don't have a topic, but my spirit is telling me to just talk. And so we started at the beginning. So now let's continue. This video can't go on TikTok because it's going to be too long. I already know it. But I'm going to say this. And I say that because TikTok knows what I talk about. Y'all don't. So in the divine feminine, what I'm feeling right now is what we should be doing as women. And what I'm feeling right now and what I'm knowing right now is that no matter how anyone takes my spiritual space, I know where I am in my space. And I know where I am, and with that knowledge, I'm moving forward. I'm moving forward in it. I'm declaring it. I'm accepting it. I'm allowing it. I'm decreeing it. I'm building in it. It's my foundation. I'm growing in it. It is what it is. I say that because opening up the divine feminine, a lot of women expect for men to congratulate them. Even other women, congratulate them, accept them, roll out the red carpet for them. And that's not going to happen. You have to move forward in that energy that you know what you are, and it's scary because there aren't that many examples of divine femininity, but they are out there. They are out there. Even if it's just glimpses. For example, even if a person who's not completely in her divine feminine or him, and I don't mean like a him, her, I mean like more like a masculine, divine masculine that is supporting the divine feminine. Even if she's not completely in it, but she has a moment of it, you need to accept all of that, and you need to walk in your moment on your journey and be confident in it, because no one is going to roll out that red carpet for you. Nobody. And if you do get the red carpet rolled out for you, you need to appreciate it. I always say accept positive energy. Appreciate it, accept the positive energy, but don't expect it. Okay? Don't expect it. Okay? And not like don't expect it, more like just don't put your eggs in the expectation basket. Just know that you have something you need to do. It's calling you in your heart, and just simply do it. Because most people don't understand what divine femininity actually is. They don't understand the feminine energy. They don't. Even when you say divine femininity, it sounds so grand and foreign. And it's grand, but it's not like what people are thinking. It's not. It's grand. But it's like the biggest issue is that people don't understand what femininity is. So when they think of feminine, they think of softness and quaintness and cute and reserved and, all those things. And while femininity does possess those qualities, and while there is strength in those qualities, that is not the full expression of divine femininity. Divine feminine can be chaotic. Divine feminine can be traumatic. Divine femininity can be destructive. It can burn you. Okay? Because I'm sorry, somebody's texting me. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be distracted. Because remember that femininity is the creative force. She is the creative faculty of our duality experience. The divine masculine is the experiential. I hate when I do that. The experiential, because I kind of make up words too. So sometimes they're like real words, and sometimes like I'm making them up. And if you have if you know phonics, you can make up words. But it's the experiential. That's not working. Trying to see how I can make it work. Okay, so let me just back that up. So the divine feminine is the divine masculine, I'm sorry, is the, I gotta say it though. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is the divine masculine is the aspect of energy of the duality that experiences. So you have two. You have one you have one component that is the creative component. The creative component that takes in the desire and that presses it into the ether and is the reason for the manifestation that will happen. The masculine aspect is the actual manifestation. And so this is why men and women are so completely different. So different. Because our spiritual makeups and our spiritual purposes are very different. So the masculine was literally put here to experience. And understand this. When I say one thing, so many people are going to want to argue with it because the other thing can do the same. So I'm not saying that women weren't put here to experience. What I am saying is that that was not their primary function. Their primary function is to create. I'm also not saying men cannot create, but what I am saying is that their primary function is and purpose is to experience. And this is the reason why if you're not aligned and if the two are not harmonious, there's a clashing. Because a lot of times what we try to do is make both of them the same, and they will never be the same because they weren't meant to be the same. Their purposes are completely different. And if you just go with their purpose, both will be in complete harmony and in happiness. I'm going to expound. I also say that men are not supposed to be the head of the household. That makes a lot of men upset. And it also triggers a lot of women because it's in your Bible that, well, according to you all, that says that the men are supposed to be the head of the household. Plus you hear it multiple times. It feels so comfortable. It's very sexy too when you have a man that's in their divine masculine, or at the very least in their masculine, and they just know how to run shit. I mean, it's so soothing, isn't it? However, they are not supposed to be in that position unless they are an individualized dynamic being, and that is a very small percentage. So the way people are trying to push it is that majority of men are leaders and majority of men are supposed to be the head of the household. That can never work. And the reason why is because, let me make that sentence longer. The reason why women are supposed to be the head of the household, and just follow me here because they have to lead into each other. Why women are supposed to be the head of the household, but not only the head of the household. It's not the head of the household according to how the patriarchy defines the head of the household. It's the head of the household, yes, but in the patriotic system, when you think head of household, you think a dictator. Someone that lays down the law, and this is not, I'm not saying is excluded, but just hear me. Someone that lays down a law and dictates orders, and you follow the orders and you submit to those orders and the will and whatever. It's not the same in a matriarchy. A matriarchy is so much more communicative. So, listen. I'm struggling with words right now. I did drink a little bit. I'm not even gonna lie, because I'm struggling. But anyway, communicative. That's right. Anyway, so a matriarchy is so much more communal. And so it's not that the feminine head does not lay down law, right? It's not that. It's just that it's not done in a dictatorship style, right? And also, obeying and abiding by the law is not done in a forceful or consequential manner in the way that we understand it right now. It's done based on respect and reverence, and it's done based on divine order. So when people understand universal law and they're in their divine and right principle, men will automatically follow the rule of women. And it doesn't mean that men don't have any aspect of leadership, because they do, but what they are not is the head of the household. Now, let me get to that right now. The reason why it's important to differentiate the head of the household, even though men can be leaders in multiple respects, is because the head of the household means that you are going to align everyone's needs around this single being. And if we say that men are the head of the household, that means we're aligning everyone's needs around this man. The reason why that's the problem is because the man is not the source of life. The woman is. And because she's the source of life, she's designed and built a certain way where she is automatically, because everything has to be reciprocal. If it's not a circle, it's a vacuum. So she's already designed a certain way where she's automatically going to be thinking. I mean, she could be out of her mind, but we're talking about holistic things, nothing extraordinary, nothing abnormal, even if it's normal now. We're talking about the way things are supposed to be in a very normal sense. She's automatically going to be thinking about everything else around her because that's how she is designed. So when she says, I need this, she says, I need this, but she needs this for her children, for her spouse, for her mother and sisters and her spouse's mother and sisters. She needs this for the community around her. When he says he needs this usually for himself, and at the very best for him, his spouse, and his children. There's a limit. And so I'll get into why there's a limit in a second, because I don't like leaving gaps because there's too much negativity and people really need to fill these gaps in so they can stop. Like, the battle needs to stop. You need to understand who you are and get in your place, like straight up. So in any case, this is why a man cannot be the head of a household, because if the man is the head of a household, there's going to be dysfunction. Okay? Now hear me, because I need your mind to really click. I am open to polygamy. And what I mean by that is I don't know if I'm ever going to get in a polygamous relationship, but I'm certainly a proponent of it if you have the right masculine energy with the right feminine energy, and it's the correct familial structure, okay? And even in that structure, I believe that structure also is harmonious in a matriarchy. And in that structure, I believe still the women are the heads of the household, okay? Even in that structure. And for a lot of people, it kind of fucks with your head, because in our patriarchy, we think of a pyramid. But a matriarchy is a circle, not a pyramid. It is a communal space. And so generally speaking, for example, the head, if there is a head, is always the elder woman. It's some elder woman somewhere, right? And it can be a younger woman. Like I would say, like not yet, like a young, it could be a very young woman, but it usually, if it's a younger woman, it's because she has wisdom beyond her years. They say she's touched, whatever, that happens, right? But usually it's an older woman, and this is where in our culture, in American society, we get the term Big Ma, and why Big Ma has such a reverence in our community, and why it's very sad because we're in the generation where we're starting to disrespect Big Ma. And I believe that's why we have so much bad karma happening, because you don't disrespect Big Ma. Big Pa didn't even disrespect. We don't even have a term for Big Pa. Grandpa did not even disrespect Big Pa, and he will fuck you up if you disrespected Big Ma. Like straight up. This is our culture. So we still have trends, and we still have these I guess cultural habits that point towards a form of matriarchy. But we're in a realm right now where we're really we're coming out of our minds, and we're losing who we were. Okay? I just want to make sure I'm on point with this. So, in that respect, this is the reason why a woman has to be the head of the household. If she is not, the needs of everybody will not get met, and there will be dysfunction. Okay? If a woman is the head of a household, it will a lot of the issues we're having with our families right now in our community, or issues we're having in our community period, would be solved simply by putting her needs first. Because when you put her needs first, you put your needs first. But when you put his needs first, you do not put everybody's needs first. This is no shade to men. Let's get into why it's different for men. Because everybody is in their feelings. You say one thing about one person, they say, oh, no. Why is there no unity? Can't we all get along? This is unity, okay? Math is math. Math, just because you're telling the truth does not mean it's not unity. Like, I'm so sick of people not being able to open their minds, look at nature, look at the universe, look at how things work, and just put it together, right? And it's okay if you don't know, but what I don't like is when people over-criticize and they're not actually thinking. I cannot stand that. So let's go into why men are built this way. I said before, men are, the way that they're created spiritually, they are the manifested. So we create, they are manifested, right? So their purpose, they have a beautiful purpose. Their purpose is to experience. We all experience, but their primary purpose is to experience. This is why they go out, they hunt, they discover, and they try to conquer. This is why their energy is like that, okay? And so because they're like that, they cannot have the same emotional capacity, which means they don't have the same capacity to love. Doesn't mean they can't love. It's just not the same capacity. It's just not the same. Their biological drive tells them to impregnate. This is their basic carnal nature biologically, right? In order to do that, you can't be like completely attached. You have to be able to move on, right? And so in a balanced way, it's fine. When it's imbalanced, you get what we have here, and you have a lot of heartbreak. You have the lack of families. You have the lack of intellect, because as humans, we have the ability to overcome, to circumvent our nature, to rise above, and to transcend, right? And so as humans, even though we might have that nature, we should be able to see what time it is and apply the appropriate behaviors to put us in the proper position in order to deal with what's happening right now, right? Including men, right? And so I'm saying that because just because they don't have these abilities, it's not that there's nothing wrong with them. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Right now, in general, everyone's being dysfunctional. Men are out of order. Women are out of order. Men want to be the head of the household. They want a woman to be subservient, and they don't understand why women don't want to do it, because women are seriously not built for that. They will serve automatically. That's what we do. Okay? You don't need to force a woman to serve. That is her nature. That's why she's the head. Think about it. God is in service to all of us. If it wasn't for God's service to all of us would be dead. Okay? This is a godlike nature. She's already in service. You don't have to force her to be in service. What you have to do is pay homage to earn that service. That's what we're getting all mixed up. And so men in their mind, because they've been conditioned to think that women have lesser value and that women are dumber and that women are emotionally chaotic and they're all over the place and they're not logical, thinking of it that way is like in their minds putting themselves beneath the woman when they're not realizing that if you don't put the woman in her proper place, particularly in our community, what you do is cut yourself off at the knees. Because what she does, what she is for you is your life and your community. And you need your life blood, your life energy, your life flow, your life essence, your etheric nature. You need that. And you need your community, the physical aspect of your identity, in order for you to go out into the world and discover and experience and conquer. Because if you don't have that, you're an island, you're a lone wolf, you're out here by yourself and you're vulnerable. And then your muscles are just simply that, just fucking muscles. You have no spiritual backing, okay? And then we can go deeper. And I'm just going to mention it because this is a whole video on its own, right? Several videos. Like I'll be saying the same thing over and over, probably from different perspectives. But not only that, like if you are abusing this feminine energy, your spouses, your mothers, your aunties, your grandmas, all the women that Facebook is a little different. And I'm so proud of Facebook for this, but you know how it is on other platforms. How you don't want to claim these women as your own. They're not my women. We're not your men. That weird ass idea. It's so like, get a grip. Like seriously, because when you mistreat these creative forces, do you understand what's happening? You're creating a karmic body that is literally feeding your actual reality. Now, you may not be able to pinpoint it, but I promise you that's what's happening. That's why you're going out here. You might be a dynamic spirit. You might be a blessed spirit, but your reality is cursed because you're creating tears and anger and resentment and violation and violence and hurt and pain in the women that you have trailed behind you. This is why you have to pay homage to women. And if you don't believe me, think about it like this. Look at these other men. Now, I know other men, they're not perfect. We know this. We know this already. But we also know people got it a little different than we do right now, okay? Look at them. Look at how they treat their women at the very least in public, okay? At the very least in public. They're not disparaging them all over the internet. There's only one group of men that do that, all right? And that's a very good example. It's very relevant. I need you to look at this. Look at them. Look at their financial status. Look at their well-being. Look at their health. Look at their position within society on the world stage. And then look at yours. And look at, you might not be doing this, but look at what your brothers are doing. And look at, in general, not anecdotally, in general, how you're faring, right? Another thing to consider. Look at also, okay, not just how they are treating their women, but look at even in your own community, even if the brother is not married, look at the women that are, okay, so look at a blessed soul, a brother, a blessed soul in your own community. That does not have to be married, right? But there's still, everything is math. So that does add into it, but you're going to see something when I say this. And let's say they have a beautiful energy, life. They have positivity around them, great luck. Check the women that are around him. Check his mother, his relationship with his mother. Check the relationship with his daughters. Check the relationship with his aunts, cousins, okay? I guarantee you it's positive. Even if he's a womanizer and he's fucking other women over, I guarantee you there are enough women around him that are holding his karmic energy high enough where that has not caught up with him yet. Or it's balancing it out or whatever. The math is mathing in his favor. I'm telling you, you have to treat the women in your community right. You have to. I know what's happening around the internet. I'm sorry. These people are idiots. They really are. And I'm not just, maybe I am saying it because I'm a woman, because I can see it. Because I'm a woman, I can see it, I can feel it. But I've always been super unbiased, okay? And in my opinion, like I'm pretty intellectual, pretty logical. And so when it comes to scholarly shit, I'm super unbiased. So if we were fucking up, I'll be having a conversation. And I do have conversations with women. And this is for women. But I need men to hear this as well. You got to listen. You marrying a woman and having a family is not to the benefit just of her. It is more to your benefit. I'm not telling you this because I'm in the heart sleeve of all these women and I'm begging you for them. I swear to God, I'm not. I'm going to tell you why I'm not. Because we can actually be single without you. We try to get you up to a certain point. After that, we're good. We're done. We're like, fuck it. We're good. And we thrive without you. I'm being so genuine and so honest about this. You all, right now, what's happening because of the imbalance, you're trying to thrive in singledom. You're wasting your youth on fuckery. And then you get old. And then you want someone to lock down, and they don't love you like that. They want your security. So at the very least, your social security check, okay? Your pension, even better. All right? And some of you are lucky to get that. The rest of you crumble. You need the source of life, but you have to pay homage, and that does include your youth. I'm sorry. You're listening to idiots out here who are ruining your own individualized futures. But to some degree, I know many of you care about the young men that are growing up in our communities. You're leading them down a terrible path, even if you're not speaking about it. The example is wrong. You cannot do this without your women, period. They are your literal other half. I didn't do this. God did it. I didn't create us. God created us. I didn't create a melanated man and then a melanated woman. I didn't do that. God did it, which means he created a pair. I didn't do it. Just like he created a Caucasian male and a Caucasian woman, a Hispanic male and a Hispanic. I didn't do it. God did it. I had nothing to do with it. But guess what he did? He created your other fucking half. He created your fucking solution. He created your balance. And you're around here like throwing it away. And I'm not talking about to the extreme where maybe you're saying, I don't like black women. I'm not even saying that. I'm saying, dude, chill out and go find you a mate and settle down and build with her so you can actually build generational wealth for real. Like, just grow up. Grow up and compete for real. Please, please, please. Lord have mercy, please. I don't know. I don't know if I can say any plainer than that. I think I did it. All right.